So, good evening, everyone. We are about to start our class now. Everybody should be able to hear me firstly. And if you are also on ang camera nyo or ang video nyo, you must be able to see me as well. Okay. We have our classroom 1 already full. At ang sobra sa 50 ay punta kayo sa classroom 2. Okay, we have 3 people now in classroom 2. So are you okay there? In classroom 2, we have Yuri, Romeo, Hannah Joy, and Karen. Karen, are you okay there? You hear me okay? Dahil you are in classroom 2. Karen Rodriguez. But be sure you answer me in the current class. Okay, you're good there, Romeo? Okay, thank you very much. So we are ready to start then. Good evening, everyone. This is our second formal class in Bsm Online 2022. And yesterday, I started off with you, acquainting you about our school. So as I said, it is good that you know all about your school, okay? Because knowing it would also make you more ready to cooperate in the teaching learning process. And so I had a lengthy discussion with you yesterday about the beginning of Berean School of Ministry, and also I discussed with you the academic program. Okay, so tonight I will move on to the second part of this orientation about Berean School of Ministry, and we'll be talking about the non-academic programs. Okay, and after which, as I have announced, we are going to have a practice test. Okay, but before I go to that second part, I just want us to look into the channels in our Discord server. So I have here, if just because before we started off here, there are some of you who are just asking saan kami kukuha ng notes, saan kami kukuha nito. So we have made the orientation of this with you last week, but I thought it would be nice for us to go through again these different channels. If you will look at here, this is our Berean server, the Berean PH server. Okay. I need to find out how to use this thing. Right, so if you see there, we have, this is, the name of our server is Berean PH, and you will see there the different offices and services. Okay, we have these offices and services, if you see that. And so here you will see the welcome lounge, where you were actually welcomed in with the first time you entered the server. And then throughout the year, if you have some inquiries addressed to us, not about any class or any course, but rather inquiries to us, you can put your inquiries here. All right. And then we have here the finances, how to pay and the payments you need to make. This is where your finance officer, Raquel Andrada, will communicate with you regarding your school fees. Okay. Now, if you need some counseling appointments, you want to make some appointments with counseling, especially when we have already started our parenting scheme, which I will be explaining with you tonight, then this is where you ask for appointments. Or if you have prayer requests, now we would be happy to take your prayer request class and include them in our prayer list for our church intercessors, and as well as for your classmates to pray for. Okay, and here I think this is one popular channel with the notice to be absent. I understand this afternoon I saw some asking or giving this notice to be absent for some reason. So, and then the staff list, if you want to know who to contact. And then later on, you will have this, what we call the parenting elders. Okay, so these are the different channels, class, where if you need our services, like in prayer or counseling, this is where you should go. Okay, now let's go to the next page in our server. That's the Berean PH. The other set, of course, okay, we have are the classrooms. Okay. So we have these classrooms, class. And in our classroom, you also have, let me see. Okay, here, this is the one. That's not there. Okay. We have the Berean classrooms, okay? And that is where we are now. The Berean classroom, we have classroom 1 and classroom 2. And in relation to our classroom, we have the general chat, okay, which I told you yesterday. This is where you chat with one another before classes, after classes, or throughout the week. Anything that you want to chat with each other outside the class hours. Okay, that's the general chat. And of course, the current class chat, this is where you should be every time we have classes, because this is where you type in your responses to our class discussion. Okay, and of course, the other one, very important, is the help chat, where you type in there if you need some assistance in your connection. Okay, so that's where you are. We have classroom 1 and classroom 2. Okay, so, and of course, we also have our study groups, right? So far, we have created only 7 study groups. But with the number of turnout of enrollees, I think I'm going to make 10 study groups. Okay, so by next week, you will already be assigned in which study group you will belong. Okay, next thing that I want you to see are the other group of channels here in Berean PH are those under the bulletin board. Okay, if you see that bulletin board, and it says there, these are read only, meaning it is only us who can post things here, and you cannot type in response. These are read only. Okay, so we have the announcements, and if you read the announcements today, I have placed there several announcements. Later on, it's gonna give you assignments. This is where we're gonna post them. And then the lecture notes. There are some of you who were asking tonight where you can find the lecture notes or the PDF files from yesterday's session. Well, you find them here in the lecture notes. Now, the links here, I have already posted several links there. And this is where we will give you some links to conferences, links to videos, to pages, our live stream videos that we want you to watch. Okay, so this is where you find them. Your readables and resources, meaning your other references that we would also give you that we would find helpful. And then another channel here is the activity. Tomorrow you are going to find something here. Now this is where your activity supervisor, Marian Dordas, will be posting instructions with regards to your activity. Okay, so we have other channels there, the hangout channels, the student lounge, and the BOT comments, and also a Berean alumni chat. Here in the student lounge, I think Joseph eventually will be putting up there some things so that if you just want to hang out, listen to music together, or sometimes even watch a relevant or a good movie together. Now, I think they can do that here in the Hangout channel, okay? So what we're saying, class, is like we are actually in a school, but in the virtual setting, okay? So I think that's the channels that we really want you to be acquainted with, okay? The offices and the services. The offices and the services. The classrooms that we are using regularly. And thirdly, the other group of channels are the bulletin board read-only channels. Okay? So, well, actually, if you come over here in Rojas City and go to the Destiny City Church building, you will find yourself probably sometimes at a loss because we have 4 floors here and we have different rooms here. We have different exits and entrances, and you can get lost actually in our building. Okay, and it is just like that even in our virtual Berean school. Okay, we have different channels. We have different video chat channels or video rooms, and and what is only important is for you to know the directory. And so this is actually like a directory for you. Okay, so that's enough for our quick around survey of the channel, so that it would be good that you are all familiar with all of these so that you would not miss anything. Okay, so I guess we are ready to start with our next session, part 2 of our orientation on all about BSM. Okay. So we are all set. We have learned about the academic program, the course requirements, okay, and everything that is relevant to that. Let us move on to our next part of our Berean handbook. And as I was saying yesterday, that the handbook is actually designed to give you guidelines on what is expected of you as a student in Berean School of Ministry, and consequently, what we have committed to do to help you prepare for the ministry the Lord has called you to fulfill. Okay, so let's go on now to the non-academic programs. Okay, so firstly, the Berean Online Spiritual and Character Development Program. Okay, and I will tell you, class, this is really a great challenge because we are in the online setting that we have to really ask the Lord's wisdom how we can still implement actually all these programs which are non-academic, doesn't involve classroom teaching, but we also have spiritual and character development. And because even though we went online, we did not deviate, as we said, from our original system of training, from our original philosophy of training. And so we just have to find ways to do even the spiritual and character development program. Okay, so let's look into this. This is one of the Berean lines I gave you last night, and this is the line that applies to our spiritual and character development. Now, does everybody believe that there is still room for you to improve in your spiritual life and in your character? Okay? Does everybody believe that? Do you still see that? Is there anyone here who could say, I am already perfect? Huh? What's your general answer? You can quickly unmute. Are you already perfect? Yes or no? Yeah, of God. Okay. All right. I needed to hear that, class. Because generally many of you actually have reached the physical age na mature kayo. Many of you are in the ministry, but you see, you have enrolled in Berean School of Ministry, and this is a good time to remind ourselves, yes, as you are saying here, there is room for improvement. Okay? And also, class, this Berean line is something really that is very meaningful if you really look at this about ourselves. as a student in Berean, meaning you came here, you enrolled here because you are submitting yourself to us as your teachers and mentors to help you grow. Okay? Now, God knows who you are. Okay? But we do not know really who you are. Only God knows. And from our experience through the years, 36 years of doing Berean, we get all kinds of students from different walks of lives, from different backgrounds, from different levels of spiritual experience. But, we also have seen that we get students who came from so ruined and difficult backgrounds. And in the process, we saw that God sovereignly brought them here to be with us so that we can help them. And so because, we are not God, we don't see you, we don't know you actually in totality, but this is what we say to the students at the beginning of the school year. We say, God will accept you as you are. Whatever you are now, God accepts you. But because you enrolled here in Berean School of Ministry, meaning you are willing to submit yourself, to the process of mentoring and the process of change. And so we say, God will accept you as you are, but will not let you stay as you are. Isn't that a wonderful line? It is telling us, that God is a gracious God. And that God is a God who is a master of changing lives. And that is for the better. And that is also for the sake of His kingdom, for which we have enlisted ourselves to work for. Okay? So take note of this with regards to our spiritual and character development program. God accepts you as you are now, but will not let you stay as you are. Okay? So we do this because Berean is concerned Berean is concerned not only of academic development, but also ministry skillfulness of the students and also character development. We set biblical standards for spiritual and character maturity, godly value system, and lifestyles which are consistent with the high calling of the ministry. You notice this, consistent with the high calling of the ministry. So no matter what happens, because, we are here serving God, the holy God, we have to learn how to conduct ourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel. So, at the beginning of the school year, we always see our students as God's raw material that can be molded into the kind of people God wants them to be. And that is contingent to your willingness to cooperate in God's work of grace. Okay? We see you, class, as God's raw material. And many of you are saying here, we are not perfect yet, okay? And God is a master of changing our lives. And we want to tell you that it is our honor, class, that when you decided to enroll in Berean School of Ministry, meaning, you're presenting yourselves and you're allowing us to be part of your lives. And you are allowing us to be God's instruments in affecting change into your lives. And that is what we do through our spiritual and character development. Okay? So thank you for doing that. You are God's raw material, but, God will work on you. Actually, my background is chemistry class. I am a graduate in BS chemistry and understand this, in a processing plant. Even in the production of simple sugar, white sugar, for example. I had my internship in the Sugar Central there in Silay City, Negros Occidental. And it starts with the sugar cane being ground, and then have the molasses, and it's a raw material. And you can imagine that red or black red sticky molasses would eventually come out the pure white sugar crystals. Okay. So starting from the raw material, which is not really very good to look at, which is not pure, as the process goes on, at the end, we have the finished product, which is the white, crystals, the sugar crystals that we have. We put in our coffee. Okay? And so it's like that. We are all raw material. At this point in time, I know God has already started a work in your lives, a lot of work in your lives. But at this point in time of your life, when you enrolled in Berean, that's why I ask you, you are saying that you are still submitting yourself for God to do more work in your life so that He can still continually change you. Even ask your teachers, class, me, Mrs. Kalusay, God is not finished with me yet. Okay, and I find I have to submit myself on a regular basis and say, God, continue to do your work in me, because I will only be perfect when I would be seeing you, the one who is perfect, face to face. So this is what we are doing, class. Okay, so what do we do in the spiritual and character development? Because we are in the virtual setting, class, we actually have more activities that we used to do in the face-to-face setting. But in the virtual setting, this is what we have chosen to pursue in doing. So number one is your responses or your response times in the classroom session. Every time we have a class, you have to be aware that God is here, right? Every time we teach you, class, because we are teaching the Word of God, we are teaching the principles of that involves our relationship with God. That means that God is actively at work in our lives, in your heart, as we are having classes. So that means that these are times that you can respond to God. Take it. Say, sometimes as your teacher, we say words to you, and you can pick up those words as God speaking words to your heart and to your spirit. And so during classes time, we give you time to respond. Okay, so response times in classroom sessions are important because these are times when you can have an encounter with the Lord. And one of the tools by which God, changes us is through His Word. Sometimes it's through His prophetic word, through our interaction with one another. Okay? So response times in classroom sessions is one of our provision for you to develop in your spiritual and character life. Okay? Secondly is in your daily devotions. I know that many of you are already doing these devotions. Now, I will have a course with you, class, it's on about making daily devotions. It may be something that is basic to many of you, considering that you are already mature Christians, many of you. Some of you are already pastors. But I assure you will have some fun in this course when I teach you about daily devotions, okay? So students here are to keep record of their daily devotional experience in a devotional notebook. Or they are to post the most meaningful devotional time during a week. And in class or parenting sessions, students will be asked to share about their devotions. So this is what we do, class. I know you're already having your devotions, so go get a devotional notebook. And I'll be teaching you how to keep, a very meaningful devotional logbook. But with regards to your accountability to us, we will only ask you actually to post the most meaningful devotional time you have in a week. So there are 7 days in a week. You do your devotions 7 days a week, but you only make a post once a week. And you are going to post that in your individual channel for personal devotion. Now, this is something that Joseph will design for each one of you. Each one of you will have a personal channel. There will be the insight channel there, the personal devotion, and assignments, and also your responses to the Sunday sermon. Okay, so that is where you post it. So you take note of that. You do your daily devotions, keep track of that, and once a week, you post your most meaningful devotional time. Okay, it's only once a week that you make a post. Move on. The third activity for spiritual and character development class is what we call the BSM parenting program. It's a parenting. What does this mean? Now, the parenting program is a major tool of BSM to the students' spiritual and character development. Destiny City Church elders and selected mature lay leaders or BSM alumni serve as parenting elders. So each student is assigned to a parenting elder. And I tell you, there are 77 of you, class. I will have to recruit more. Well, of course, thank God we are having more alumni now, and people who have been serving with us here in the church, and a lot of them are graduates also of Berean, will be helping us in serving as parenting elders. So you'll be assigned to one. We are studying your biodata, and we are going to match your characteristics and somehow be able to discern who would be the most, yung kamatch mo na magiging parenting elder. Okay? So, ano yung ginagawa sa ating parenting program? Number one, you will have parenting sessions. The initial session will be done after the course on spiritual warfare. You're going to have a course with Pastor Ray on spiritual warfare. And one of the lessons you will teach there is how to have your personal victory over, the works of the enemy to destroy our lives. And after that course, then you're going to have your initial session, parenting session with your parenting elder. And after that, you will have a bi-monthly meeting. Okay, this is the minimum meeting class of that you will have with your parenting elder. And so if we are having 10 months, less a couple of months, probably you will be able to have at least a minimum of 4 parenting sessions with your parenting elder throughout the school year. But you can have some special counseling session here, number 3, if you need them. Okay? But also in the parenting session, you're gonna make a progress report, which is your progress towards change. Now, this report will help both you, the student, and your parenting elder to see in concrete form the student's progress towards change. Okay, now we will properly guide you, class, how to do this. And of course, as I have said, you can also request or make an appointment with the parenting elder for an additional personal counseling. Okay, the parenting elder actually may refer you to another Destiny City Church elder if necessary. But look here, counseling of a student with a fellow student is prohibited. Okay, especially in the area where your parenting elder is helping you. Now, I just want to have a word of caution, class. You see, this parenting scheme, class, is only possible to the degree that you are willing. Okay? We will not force you. We will not, try to really dive or really try to find out every minute detail of your life. Okay? We understand there are some people who may not be comfortable. So this parenting scheme with your parenting elder will only be possible to the degree, as I have said, that you are able. Okay? That is why we want you first to build trust with your parenting elder. And I have to tell you honestly, class, it has been our privilege to parent a lot of students and help them out of so many complicated issues and entanglements in their life before they came to Berean. I have so many beautiful stories of the grace of God. Students came here and their lives were so messed up. And we were just happy and thankful to the Lord for the great opportunity to be of help to many of them. And we hope and we look forward, that even in the virtual setting, we can help some of you who would need that kind of help. Class, we have an enemy of our souls, and that is the devil. And a lot of times the devil starts early in our lives. And God has a plan for your life, and God wants to use you, and you want to be used by the Lord. But sometimes we find it that there are some issues in our lives that hinder us to be most productive for the kingdom of God. And so this parenting scheme in Berean School of Ministry is our provision actually to help you if you are willing. Okay? So that is one of the things that we do in our spiritual and character development program. Okay? So, here is the parenting scheme. The following describe the parenting scheme to be observed by the parenting elder. Okay? So, let's see some of the comments here before I move on. Yes, that God is always active in our lives. We are. Hallelujah. That's true, Brother Rene. Sabi ni Brian, parang mentoring session po, ma'am. Okay, I'll move on to the next screen para mas maintindihan nyo kung ano yung nangyayari. Hindi ito session, hindi ito teaching session, but this is what we do, okay? So you will understand. Here is the parenting scheme. The first thing that we do is profiling. You get your profile. Kung ano ka, tangos yung ilong nyo, hindi. No, not a physical profiling. But actually from the profile that you submitted at the start of the year, we are studying your profile. If you remember, you submitted your biodata, you submitted your testimony. There are some questions there that you answered. That is the reason for that. And from there, we can somehow get your profile, some initial and basic information, okay? So we will give your parents, your parenting elder, a copy of your profile. And using that, your parenting elder will, number one, get acquainted with you. They will get acquainted with the raw material that is to be processed into a finished product. Okay? Again, I tell you, because my background is in chemistry, one of the things that we do if we are going to process something and to produce something, in the laboratory, we first have to analyze our raw material. Sometimes we have a raw material that is pure, but sometimes it is so mixed up with other unnecessary ingredients or matter. And so we analyze first the raw material. Okay? And as I have said a while ago, sometimes somebody come here and after, making this initial acquaintance with the student, and many of them, class, had been very, very honest actually because they wanted to be helped. And personally, I have handled some really difficult situations. Yung parang ang raw material ko ay talagang napakahirap i-process. But I tell you, God is more than able. Okay? So, we get acquainted with the raw material, and that is you. And consequently, the parenting elder will also acquaint the student about him. Your parenting elder will have a chance to testify about his own or her own deliverance, and this will be proper and helpful in building trust. Now, as your teachers here, especially me when I teach, every now and then I throw in a portion of who am I, because I wanted you to know me, and I need not be embarrassed by some of the dark pasts that I had, because all of that are now under the blood of Jesus, and all of that had been dealt with the gracious love of God. Okay? And if you hear your parenting elder and ask your teachers testifying about the grace of God in our own lives, that would also help you build your trust in us. Okay, so that's the first thing we do. We get acquainted with you. Number 2, from your profile, your parenting elder will discern and identify possible problem areas and strongholds that could be hindrances or potential source of defeat and ineffectiveness in the student's personal and ministerial life. Yeah, it's going to be a guided thing. Okay, and what you will do is your parenting elder will say, can you see, do you agree that this is a problem area in your life? And then what you will do is here, letter C, you confirm, and then you will clarify with your parenting elder by interview what the written profile revealed during the first parenting session. Interview should be personal or can be done with 2 or 3 other students if they are, this should be are, not care, if they are comfortable with the group setting. Now, sometimes if the students are comfortable, class, we assign, say, around a maximum of 3 people to one parenting elder. And if the students agree, we do the parenting together. Okay, so if you are not willing to do that, you would rather want to have a one-on-one, we will also consider that. Okay, so we will not force you to do something that you are not comfortable to do. Okay, so that's the scheme. The first one is profiling, and then the second part is directing change. Here, the role of the parenting elder is simply to guide and direct the student towards change that should happen in his life. The parenting elder should never dictate or impose anything on the student. We will not tell you, okay, napaka-prideful mo. Talagang very glaring na ang problema mo ay pride. Okay? Now, we will not say that to you, and we will not dictate to you a series of things that you should do to deal with your pride. Okay? But we will just direct you. It's firstly, you need to acknowledge it and confess it. Okay? Because it's the first thing. Leading students to realize and admit the identified problem areas and make willing confessions of them to God. It is important that students see their need to change. Okay? And I think you all have said and agreed to that at the beginning. And then we will have the second one is uprooting. This is identifying with the students the most likely root of the problem that is identified. Prayer of uprooting. The evil seeds of the enemy should follow. In some cases, this may need extra session. Now, you will understand more of this, class, when you go to Pastor Ray's course. This word uprooting, the evil seeds of the enemy, because you know, the devil is also a farmer. The devil is a sower, and he sows evil seeds, wicked seeds into our lives, and he normally does that when we were still young. And so that seed of wickedness grows, and we grow, our age increase, our height increase, and our experience in life increase. But, until we are born again, those wicked seeds become become evident because now you are beginning to really live for God. And we know that those evil seeds are there and they needed to be uprooted. Okay? And then the next one is initiating. After you acknowledge it and confess your problem areas in life and making a prayer of uprooting, then we initiate the steps towards change. Here, your parenting elder will lead you to draw up action steps or new behavior patterns in order to reverse the identified problem areas in your lives. Okay? And I will tell you, class, this is where you will understand more how change happen. You know, change, class, does not happen by simply saying, Lord, change me. Yes, God changes us, but we have a part in the process of change. We need actually to make some actions so that we can build new patterns of behavior to reverse, okay, the identified problem areas. So you will have more of this when you go to the course of pastoral. But this is this second part of the parenting scheme. Okay, first was profiling, and then we have that second one. I'm sorry, directing change, and the third one is refining. Okay, here is the parenting elder. Their job is assisting the students in his progress in building new patterns of behavior. And the student at this time must be ready with a progress report before a refining session. What happens in this time is there will be an evaluation of students' progress based on information on students' progress report. And then the parenting elder will have time to listen to the student testify of his experiences, his growth, his victories, how he overcome the problem area in his life. And then address weak areas or real needs and difficulties that were met. And then guide the student to draw up the next steps. Okay, so this is just really guiding you. If you notice here, class, it is actually you going through the process, and the parenting elder is guiding you through the process. But on top of that all, there is this God who is at work. You know what God does through the Holy Spirit is He enables us to do what we should be doing. Okay, so that is the parenting scheme. Now, we will have recording of parenting results. Firstly, the parenting elder will keep record of the results of the parenting sessions, but will keep them in strict confidentiality. Okay? This is very important, class. Okay? We will keep them in strict confidentiality. We will not sit down together and we will talk about you. You know that this student is like this, that student is like, no. It's your parenting elder that sits down with you, and your parenting elder knows you and you trust them with your life. Okay? There will be a format of recording which is going to be provided for them. And then your part is you as a student should make ready a progress report before a scheduled parenting session. This progress report is entitled My Journey Towards Change. Okay? My Journey Towards Change. I'm getting a text message. So look at here. The report that you're going to make ready actually for your session includes this. This is the content. Your journey towards change. The content would be how I rate my progress in change in my identified areas of life. How well did I fulfill the action steps I committed to do? And then your testimony or evidences of growth or victories. Probably you can mention a particular incident which demonstrates that you actually is making some progress. What I did to be victorious. And then what weak area and difficulties I encountered, new problem area that you identified, and what I plan and commit to do next. So these are the things that so you know that it is actually you that will be doing the reporting class, and your parenting elder will be there to guide you to the next step. Okay, so this should give you idea what is going to happen. Okay, so that is our let me go back. Our spiritual and character development program. Okay, I said God will accept you as you are, but will not let you stay as you are. The first thing we do is provide you response times in the classroom session. I said, okay, every classroom session should be an opportunity for you, class, to encounter the Lord through His Word. And then your daily devotions, okay, and our BSM parenting scheme. Now, these are our provisions for the spiritual and character development program. Now, you tell me, let's have a quick rest. You tell me, are you comfortable to subject yourself to the parenting program? Okay. I'll type here in yes. Okay, and you react to this with okay. All right. Go on. Yes, just go on. I need to see your yes. I'm going to put that. I'm recording it. Okay. This is recorded. All right. So whatever appears on the screen is being recorded. So your yes is being recorded. Right? Okay. I know it will take a while for 77 of you to have your yes recorded. That will give me some time to rest my throat. Quite new, but I needed to. That's good. Nida? All right. All right. You continue on just typing your yes there. It will all be recorded. I really want to document your agreement to submit yourself to parenting. Okay. It's like discipleship. In a sense. Okay, some more are typing. Alam ko mahina pumasok yung ibang sagot ninyo. Malayo pa kasi iba sa inyo eh. Okay. Some of you can take a break at this time if you want. Willing to empty my cup. All right. That's good. Yes, good. Yeah. Ang mga usano na mag-asawa, Rox and Nida, would you want to have a parenting session together? And class, once you get to know this parenting scheme, you can actually do this also to your key leaders. They want to. Huh? All right. So just keep on typing in your answers there. They will just be recorded there in the current chat channel. And so let us move on to the next part. We only have actually a few material left. Chat. Okay. So let's go to this aspect class. This is the Bsm Online Ministry Development Program. Okay, so far, we have the academic program, we have the character and spiritual life development program, and now here we also have the ministry development program. Now, this is an aspect of the Berean training class that could have been very intensive if we were in a virtual setting, because then you will have many more opportunities for ministry exposure with us. Okay, and of course, we didn't have then the restrictions because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But nonetheless, because as we said, we decided to go online, we have to find ways to somehow, okay, give you some activities and schemes by which we can help you develop in your ministry skillfulness. Okay, so let's do this now. We are in the ministry development program. Now you see, an integral part of the training of our students is their exposure to our local church life, ministries, and culture. Because I said to you several times last time that Berean School of Ministry is a church-based training school. Okay, because the church, actually, if you look into the scriptures, is the natural setting to be equipped. Okay, and so, as a church, therefore, we really gave ourselves into training and equipping our people. And actually, Pastor Ray and myself, that's our main work class. We are equippers. And Pastor Ray said when he came in last night that we are ready to give of everything that we have, to equip people and to train people, people in the church, and now the great opportunity to train Berean School of Ministry students. Now, why is this? Your exposure to us is part of your training, because many aspects of the ministry are better caught than taught. So students learn better when they see patterns or observe others to do them, or when they themselves participate in them. During the face-to-face classes before class, there are 3 levels by which students get the exposure in our ministry. First, on one area, we give them patterns or some modules or some training materials. They see patterns. This is how we train our music team. This is how we train our Sunday school teachers. This is how we train our ushers, okay? And this is how we do it. This is how we do the ushering. This is how we welcome visitors. We let them see, we let them observe how we do them. And eventually, we also give them opportunity to participate in them. Okay? Now, because we are in the virtual setting, sadly, of course, we are quite limited in doing all that, but nonetheless, we will find means. Okay? If there is a will, they would say there is a way. Okay? So here are some of the activities for ministry development that we will really try, okay, to facilitate for you this year. Number 1 is in your participation in online church celebration. Okay. Well, unless, of course, you are Berean students from Destiny City Church. Okay? There'll be no problem with that. And by the way, I will be giving you more assignments than the rest. Okay. But anyway, you will be participating in our online church celebration. Now, we understand that probably many of you also have your own Sunday services, or either face-to-face or virtual. But we will be asking you, class, to join in our online Sunday celebration at least only every last Sunday of the month. But actually, you can join us every Sunday if you want to. And if you cannot join on Sundays, you can actually view our online services because they stay there posted in our Facebook page, Destiny City Church. And what you will do is you're to take down notes of the pastor's sermon and write out a response application of the message. So if we require you to attend the online church celebration every last Sunday of the month, that is also the sermon where you have to post your response application of the message. Okay, we will give you an example, a format how to do that. And you are going to post that again in your individual channel. There will be a Sunday sermon response channel provided in your individual channel. And we have a staff that is assigned to check on this. Her name is Rosana Ruano. She is actually, during our face-to-face classes, the dorm dean or the student's dean. So the dean of students is primarily in charge in overseeing, your character and spiritual development. And so she will be checking on this, right? How you respond to the message. Also, class, if you are joining the online Sunday celebration, you can also join actually the live chat feature of our online service, while the service is going on. And by the way, our online service is real time. Okay. It is not pre-recorded. It's real time. Okay. So you join in the online celebration service, and at the same time, you join in the live chat feature. Now, you can respond there in the chat. Okay, and you can ask, you can make comments, you can respond to the worship time, you can respond to the Word of God. And if you like our online streaming, you can also give us stars. Okay, you can give us stars to help support our ministry. All right. So that's one thing that we do in ministry development, because your exposure, class, to our Sunday church celebration, we call that celebration. Somehow, you can learn how we do things. Especially now in the online services, actually, you can really actually learn some things here, how we do online services, how we program our Sunday services that is fit for a live streaming. Okay. You will notice, that the way we program our service is not that very traditional way. We don't have, the traditional aspects of a service, but we program it in a way that it will be fit for public viewing. Because you have to remember, if we go online, our audience is not just the church people. Your audience is the whole world, actually. The wah. In the whole, in the online public. Okay, so it's open there, and we need to do that. Okay, and I think we will be able to. We will have a chance to give you some tips on how to do live streaming. Okay. Second, ministry development activity is your participation in our prayer meetings. Students are to experience prayer, intercession, and engaging in spiritual warfare by joining scheduled prayer times. Links to virtual prayer times will be sent. Okay, so we will do that, and you can join the prayer meetings. Number 3, this one is very important also. You will experience the Moving Experience Discipleship Program of Destiny City Church. We conduct regular classes for discipleship class, but actually here, because I will be teaching this to you, there will be one course entitled Discipling the Church, and I will be teaching you, class, our discipleship program, which we call the Moving Experience. You'll have the opportunity to be acquainted with the entire program. Okay? And Actually, as I said last night, I had been tasked to prepare the entire material to be used in the Assemblies of God. Okay? But you will have a special privilege to learn this and experience it in Berean Online. Okay? Because discipleship is a very important and a major ministry in the church. Okay, number 4, we have to learn and develop discipling skill for opening and leading a house gathering or a house church. This is one thing that we will require you of, to start a house gathering. If you have a family, if you're living with your family, and there is no house gathering yet in your family, after we teach you the principles of house church movement, Operation Home Base of the Assemblies of God, then we will ask you to start a house gathering in your home, in your boarding house, or wherever. Okay? And number 5 here is where you're going to learn how to train and develop serving leaders and disciples by joining upskill sessions for house church leaders and Destiny Core. When we say the Destiny Core class, this is the term that we use for our disciples who are already serving with us in the church. And we conduct upskill sessions with them. As of now, we are only doing online upskill sessions with them. But I believe within this year, we will be able to resume our face-to-face Destiny Core upskill sessions. And when we do that, we will live stream that for you. Okay, so you get to see what we do in training and developing people who are already serving in our church ministries. Okay, so number 6 is, thank you, Mercy, World Wide Web. I got stuck in my lips with that. Okay, number 6, immersion in Destiny City Church culture. Okay? By taking advantage of access to channels for different ministries of Destiny City Church. Now, if you notice here, class, I highlighted here the city church culture. Well, I understand that all of you are probably living in a city, but you will learn in my course about urbanidad that, urbanization is very high now in the Philippines. Meaning, more and more people are adopting the urban culture. Now, Destiny City Church is a city church. And we have actually made a lot of changes or modifications in the way we do church and the way we deal with people because of the effect of urbanization. Okay? So we will give you an opportunity, class, to be immersed in a city church culture by taking advantage of access channels that we will give you. Okay? We are still in the process of designing this, but there will be several access points for you whereby somehow you can learn what it is to really run a city church and how to have what we call a city church culture. One of these will be your immersion probably in what we call our welcome lounge ministry. Okay, so that's one aspect. Even though you are in the virtual setting, somehow I believe you can have an exposure. We will find means, okay, to somehow expose you or give you some kind of exposure to that city church culture. Okay, and lastly, to experience creative events for community engagement that may be held or hosted by Destiny City Church. Community engagement, class, is one thing that is really happening with us here in Destiny City Church. At this point in time, probably your respective local churches may not yet be really involved to be in being out there in the community. Because traditionally, Assemblies of God, we are quite conservative. We had some thought teachings like be not unequally yoked with the unbelievers. We have to be. Some even would have that extreme doctrine about be ye separate, okay? And it's like friendship with the world, or it should not be done by Christians, things like that. But those teachings should be balanced by the fact that we are here on this earth to be the light of God, to share the light of Jesus. And we need to learn to do community engagement in a way that we should not be afraid that we will be influenced by the world, that we will compromise our Christian principles. Okay? So, Destiny City Church is actually very strong in this class. We have a lot of community engagement activities. That's why, in fact, yesterday I was quite late because I came from a citywide Zumba event. Okay, and we have a big a daily community engagement activity in one of the areas here in our city. I am very much involved with different women organizations in the city. And so we used to hold events or host events, like we call it Heart Camp, which we were not able to do anymore because of the pandemic. And then also my women organization, which I call Radiance Class, we do and host a lot of events, and we do a lot of community engagements with this, right? So these are, the activities that we hope we will be able to truly implement for you, so that we can somehow, even in the virtual setting, help develop your ministry skillfulness. So going through again is participation in our online church celebration, participating in our prayer meetings. You experience the Moving Experience Discipleship Program. You will learn and develop discipleship in having a house gathering. And then you will be joining us in our upskill sessions for our serving leaders. You will have immersion in a city church culture through our different access points. And you will have an opportunity to experience creative events for community engagement that we will host. Okay? So those are the opportunities that we offer you, class, for ministry development. So can you imagine that we are going to do all of these in 10 months? Can you believe that, class? Thank you. Exciting. Yeah. Probably because you see, this is already what we do, class. And it is always wonderful to share things that find are exciting and things that work. Okay, so what we will be sharing with you are actually just things that already work with us. Okay, we share what we have with you. Yes, that is true. Nothing is impossible. Yes, we can do it. Oh, thank you for your positivity. Okay, that's true. Serving God is not to be boring. We can do it, all right? Because to the degree that we are able, class, we just want to impact you with things that we have. We are not saying that we are going to impose things on you. We are not saying that what we have and what we do is the best. But what we're just saying is we're just sharing this to you. It's up to you. If you find something that we will share with you helpful for you, then do it. Go for it. Or even adopt it. Make it your own, right? Revise it. Okay? Make it even better. Okay? we used to attend Hillsong conference actually, class, and I think that is really a privilege on our part to be attending Hillsong conferences. And I can already count beyond my fingers the times I had been to Hillsong conference in Australia. And one time we had one speaker. I forgot his name. I'll remember that later on. But this is what he said. He was sharing ideas also about his church. And this is what he said. You can steal my idea on one condition. Make it better. So I think I want to say that to you as well. You can steal our ideas in what we do on the condition that make it your own, adapt it to your situation, and even make it better. Are you okay with that? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, to start with, actually, okay, let's do this. Yes, Bethany, I know you're able to do that. You are a very creative woman. Yes, Irene. Okay. Own it, adopt it, make it better. Okay. Challenge accepted. That's good. So, to start with all these ministry development class, I think we need to give you some information, things that you can start with. So, this is where we will start. For you to start, okay? You need to know more about us, okay? Know more about us. Yeah, no copyright, but just copy it right. Precisely, and that's very good. Okay, so as I have said, where do we start with all these ministry development program? You start here, class. Get to know more about us and know where to find us in the virtual world. Okay? So here it is. Know more about us, find us. I'm giving you a lot of links. Here are the links, class. For more about us, like and follow our Facebook pages and groups. We are very active in the social media, class, and we are posting a lot in the social media, almost for all of our major ministries. So firstly is our Destiny City Church page. Please, first thing to do, kung hindi nyo pa ito alam, please like, follow our FB page, Destiny City Church. Okay? Before you sleep tonight, be sure na pasok nyo ang aming page. Okay? Like and follow and even share. Because dyan kayo mag-a-attend ng aming Sunday service at every week, every day class, meron talaga kaming post. We have daily posts. Okay? Pinaplano talaga namin kung anong ipopost namin on a daily basis. And ang post namin dyan are representing also what we do and also introducing who we are. Okay? So we have posts like about our children's ministry, about our community engagement. I think a new post will be up today about our community, our engagement yesterday. There's a post there on sermon highlights, our prayer meetings, and we even have a gastronomy post, okay? Yung mga recipes namin ng mga stuff, okay? So, please do that before you sleep tonight, okay? Like and follow our FB page. Okay. Now, so ito yung mga links dito. Meron kaming group. Ang Radiance Ministry ko sa mga women, you can learn a lot from this actually, class. So, magkikita nyo kung anong ginagawa namin. Okay? Kayong mga women dyan sa ating class, Okay, I would love to welcome you to Radiance. Radiance is my ministry for women. Okay, and I actually do Radiance conferences. And now Pastor Ray have what do you call this? Appointed me as the National Women's Director. So I will have a chance to really share this nationwide. Okay. SOS Church Planting. Now you learn about us and our church planting here also. Ang moving experience natin, yung aming discipleship, meron din kaming group. At ito yung heart camp na sinasabi ko, the heart campers I'm talking to you about. Our creative event. So you can check on this website and you will see a lot of videos there and you will get an idea of what we are doing. And also with our Destiny Kids. Okay, it'll give you an idea of what we do with our ministry among the children. And so we have all of these class. And yes, that's right, Romeo. We have to have a content calendar. Yes. Yung, kahit yung ipopost mo, ay ipaplano mo talaga. Kasi kailangan yan sa media, sa social media. So this is where you can start knowing about us, class. A lot of things that you need to understand who we are, what we do, and how we do a certain ministry can already be discerned or seen if you go into these pages. Okay, so that is where you start. And actually, this is enough to keep you busy. So one good thing that you can do is you get into all these Facebook pages and groups and you like and you follow so that you will get a notification every time we make a new post. Okay. And then also we have, wow, what is this? The WordPress. I'm sorry for this typo. It's supposed to be WordPress websites. We also have websites. If you want to get some of the permanent information about what we do, you can check into these websites. We have the First Assembly Rojas Visions. This is before we renamed or rebranded ourselves as Destiny City Church. You can get a lot of posts here, class, about our early years as a church. And now, about Destiny City Church, most of the basic information about our church can be found here. Now, our website in WordPress, Destiny City Church, is just a launching pad, actually, to the different social media platforms that we are using. But this is a good place where you can get information about us. Okay? And of course, the website of Berean School of Ministry, and also the website of SOS Church Planting. We call that saturationchallenge.wordpress.com. And we have the Radiance website as well, and the Heart Camp Radiance, Heart Camp website as well. So you notice that we both have the social media platforms, the Facebook pages and the Facebook groups, but at the same time, we also have the websites. If you want to see the general informations about what we do, like about the church, about Berean, about church planting, about Radiance, about Heart Camp, you go to the web page. And if you want to have updates actually of what we do, you go also to our social media pages in Facebook. Okay, so I think this is all for what I can give you. Just to start with, again, as before we close, as I said, you like, follow, and share our FB page, Destiny City Church. And find information about our ministries in our website, DestinyRossWordPress.com. And here is something that I want you to do tonight also, class, is to subscribe and follow, okay, Destiny City Church and our webpage, DestinyRojas.wordpress.com. And please read the story of Destiny City Church. Okay? I'll be posting this in your assignment in the assignment channel. Read the story, how we started and where we are now and what we look forward to. Okay? Because your exposure to us is part of your training. And this is a good way to start in knowing who is or what is the Destiny City Church. Okay, I'm done. You can type in your comments because I'm going to prepare the link for your test. Okay, just type in, I'm looking for something here. Okay, you are all here, so I'll post here. Look at here, class. I'm giving you the instruction and the link to our practice test. Okay, here. I have so many. Okay, if you see this, let me put that also in the announcement channel. Okay, where am I? So you can always go back later on if you lose it. Where is it now? Stay there, class. I'll explain a little bit. Okay, I posted in the announcement channel, but it's already also here in the current chat. Let me look at the instruction here. This is terrible. You are getting ready to here. Okay, when do we start participating in the online church celebration? We start on August. What is the Sunday? It's the 14th. Okay, this last Sunday of July. Okay, last Sunday. Okay. Okay, now look at this here. Again, let me propose. The next minutes, I will release you to go to take your practice test. This is just class to acquaint you with the app that we are using. This is web page, so you don't have to download the app. Okay, it's Easy Test Maker. So these are the instructions. Okay, you click on this link, this blue thing, or you copy it and paste it on the web browser. Is that right? After that, so just click on the link Let me see. There. Okay. See that? You click on the link and then you type in your name. Be sure you type in your family name first kasi para nakasynchronize yun sa aking record sheet. Alright? Para kita ko kagad yung pangalan nyo. And then, there will be a space there where you type in your access code. Okay? Access code is I love tests. All caps, no space. Okay? Now, before proceeding to take the test, be sure to keep your return code. You will be given, class, a return code, so you copy the return code, okay, and keep it. What is the purpose of that? In case, halimbawa, somehow nawala ang internet mo or what, you are going to use it instead of the original access code. Ang original access code natin ay I love test. Kung naputol ka in the middle of taking the test, you can return. Okay? Pero yung access code mo ay hindi na yung I love test, but ang iyong return code. So that what will happen is you will return, you will pick up where you left off. Halimbawa, 25 items lang yung test class. Number 20 ka na, tapos nag-lag yung PC mo or nawalan ka ng internet temporarily. You don't have to do the test all over again. But if you enter the link and then type in your name and type in again your access code I love test, that means you will do the test all over again from the beginning. Okay, but kung naputol ka in the middle of the test, use your return code. Then, you can continue where you left off. Okay? So, are you ready now? Now, I will leave you. Sandali. I will leave you. Okay, in 5 minutes, I'll just answer this question. Did you have afternoon or evening Sunday church celebration? Dalawa ang aming celebration. Okay, so you check out please sa website. Okay, kasi all the informations are there. So go to Destiny City Church. We have actually a 9 o'clock service, 9 to 10, and then, 9 to 11, and then 3:30 to 5:30. Okay? So clear na yung sa ating exam class? Okay, in 5 minutes, where to get the return code? Okay? Pag nag-type in ka na ng link, nag-type in mo yung access code mo, may lalabas dyan. Okay? May lalabas dyan na return code mo. Okay? You will know it if you get into it. So, importante itong link mo nyo. Just click it. Okay? You run your scroll it, the arrow on it, and ma-highlight itong blue na test link. Click the test link, type in your name, type in your access code, and then you will get your return code, and the test will open one question at a time. Take your time, class. You have 1.5 hours to take the tests. Okay? So, this is just a fun test. And then, pwede nyo kaagad malaman actually ang inyong score. Okay? Automated ito at malaman nyo din kung saan yung, pwede nyo ma-download ang inyong test at ang result ng inyong test. You can download it yourself. Okay? Meanwhile, I will also be monitoring kung nakakuha na kayo ng test. Okay? 1.5 hours. Okay? 1.5 hours. 5 minutes from now when we exit. Okay, so is everybody ready? I guess so. Everybody is ready? Any more questions? Tomorrow we are going to have first our ng ating meeting, ng ating klase, we will have an acquaintance party. A virtual one. We'll have an acquaintance activity. We have other things to take up with you. The other staff will be joining me, okay, if they're around. And so we will have also we'll use part of our session tomorrow for an acquaintance activity. Okay. All right. No more questions. Okay. I'll wait for 1 more minute. I have my clock in front of me here. If any more questions, you can go. You don't have to go back here. Okay? This is goodbye now. For now. So you take the test. You can download your results and go to bed. Okay? And good night na rin sa inyo after your test. Okay. So, good night for now. Enjoy your tests. Enjoy your test.